The Russian financial watchdog, Rosfin Monitoring, has now included your name on a list of terrorists and extremists. They issue no specific reason, but this listing puts limits on individuals' bank transactions and forces them to seek approval every time they want to use their accounts. So there is a real-world impact from this. Why do you think they did this? Is it just sort of state-sponsored harassment because of your activism and your criticism of Vladimir Putin?
I think it's obvious. They use every tool at their disposal to silence the criticism. Of course, it doesn't affect me directly because I live in exile for 11 years, but it's still a message to others. And many of my colleagues who are in exile as well, so they already got this honor to be called terrorists and extremists. And it reminds us as living inside the George Orwell book, 1984, freedom is slavery, war is peace, ignorance is strength. So those who are killing people, those who are real terrorists and murderers like Putin and his gang, they are calling us, those who have been advocating peaceful transition for democracy in Russia, terrorists.
Yeah, as you know firsthand, taking a stand against Putin can come with a cost, often a great cost. And with that in mind, I want you to listen to a little more from Yulia Navalnaya, the widow of Alexei Navalny, and her call for an election day protest. Here she is.
We
need to come to the polling station on the same day and time, noon of March 17. It is up to you to choose what to do next. You can vote for any candidate but Putin. You can spoil the ballot. You can write on it in big letters, Navalny.
I'd like to get your thoughts on this protest. Do you support it? What sort of impact could it potentially have?
Look, it's a personal choice. And of course, if somebody wants to protest against Putin's regime by showing up at the polling station and writing Navalny with capital letters, it's fine. But my position was very consistent for the last 11 years. I did not recognize the legitimacy of this regime. I believe our best strategy is to continue our policy to delegitimize the regime and insisting that the foreign powers will eventually call Putin who he is, a murderer and a criminal, a dictator, not a duly elected president. So that's why, to me and those who are following me, my supporters, so the boycott is the best solution. But it doesn't mean that the others should also follow us if they think that they can express their disagreement with Putin regime in a different way. But of course, we should recognize that any form of active protest in Russia is being punished. You can end up in prison for a few years just publishing a tweet. So doing something at a polling station a day that when Putin is preparing his electoral triumph, it's quite risky. So that's why, again, I leave it for any individual to make his or her own decision how they want to protest.